Let me get myself together. I hope y'all can hear me, but if not, it is what it is. This is kind of like a test run. Damn, it look like I got a filter on. Oh, man. I started my day off early. Just kind of in the flow of things, getting things accomplished, doing the things that I need to do. And then all of the things came together because for the past 4 days, I haven't really had nothing to say, really. Like, it was crazy. And it was weird. It was disturbing me because it was like I felt empty. I felt like, damn, I usually have so much to say and I couldn't find the words. I couldn't, I was, in reference, I would be doing readings and stuff like that, and that would be fine. I would be working, and that would be fine, and everything would be fine, but the conversation to the people wasn't really there. And I accepted it. I allowed it. What was happening was that I was getting a channel from Archangel Gabriel in reference to helping people develop their spiritual abilities and understanding their spiritual channels and spiritual communication. And the ways that I am going to explain the channel that I've been receiving over these past 4 days is utilizing the Bible. One thing about a past life that I know about was that of being a reverend. I know exactly the reverend that I was in a past life. I was Reverend C.L. Franklin. Reverend C.L. Franklin died in June 1984 in Detroit, Michigan. I was born August 23rd, 1984. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, but Boston, Massachusetts on the 42-degree parallel. I currently live in Detroit, Michigan, and there's a real connection and a love for the city, a fondness for it, and true to form, like in my previous life, I love the Bible. I love decoding the Bible. I love studying the Bible. Yeah, C.L. Franklin is Aretha Franklin's father. So in my past life, I understand that it's a lot of fucked up things about me that in this life that I'm paying karma for. In my previous life, I didn't go to prison. In this lifetime, I went to prison for a crime that I didn't commit. But it was almost as if I was supposed to go there. Sometimes when we are disconnected from our previous lives, you might as well call yourselves depressed. You might as well call yourself confused. You might as well call yourself disconnected from all that you are. It's like a head being disconnected from a body. Yeah, you might have a brain and you might can function in this world. You might can go to work and pay your rent. But you don't know who you've been for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And this is what the power of doing the spiritual work will lead you to, deep understanding. And I can go, and that's just not the only past life. And the thing about past lives is that we share past lives. Like in this life, you have multiple entities sharing this life with you. And they can recall this life that you're living as a past life or a future life. So a lot of things just result in ignorance and confusion in specifically what you are, right? Specifically what you are. A lot of people have it figured out of what they're doing and what they're not doing. But what we are as spiritual beings having a human experience is extremely profound. And the time that you waste not investigating that actual truth of who you are, like that's like fundamental, right? To understand some shit of what you are. But it's a reason why. So I'm going to relay the message that Archangel Gabriel relayed to me. And the first message was found in the Bible, somewhere in Luke. I think Luke chapter 10, verse 38, something to that effect. Don't sue me if it's not chapter 10. But I'm going to read this Bible verse. Then I'm gonna get into the metaphysics of it, because the Bible, you have to understand these stories as inner experiences, right? You have to understand these stories as allegories that help you evolve into your spiritual understanding. This is not a historical biography. The same reason that Spider-Man is not a historical biography. It's some aspect of it that's allowing you to evolve in your mind and in your being. So when we talk about Mary and Martha, we're not talking about two women living in a village. In reference to Mary and Martha, we're talking about our parasympathetic and our sympathetic system. And as a human being, you have a choice to decide, are you going to be sympathetic, meaning that are you going to rely on your fight and flight to navigate every decision that you make? Or are you going to align with your parasympathetic and allow your spiritual connection to make the decisions for you? So verse 38 follows. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. So Jesus and his disciples could just very well represent the sidereal understanding of life. To consider anything means to be with the stars. So when we consider ourselves, we consider sider, S-I-D-E-R, is sidereal. Con is with, right? So to consider means to be with the stars. This is the first act of consciousness. We start considering our decisions. We start considering our behaviors. We start considering our actions, and we say, what am I doing wrong? And how can I start to correct this? So when Jesus and his disciples come to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him, this is when we begin to accept the facts of, okay, I need to start making changes. So Martha and Mary, you don't kick Martha out the house, right? Martha and Mary are sisters. They are housebound, right? However, you have to be active in your spiritual life, and activity is the first step. However, she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Now, the sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet is Kabbalistic terms for Malkuth. So if we understand that the Word is God and God is the Word, the Word thus translates to what we manifest. Now, if we are parasympathetic, we can manifest that from which comes from our spirit. When we are sympathetic, fight or flight, we can only manifest that which we are afraid of, that which we need to run away from, that which we need to protect ourselves from, because we are in a state of fear. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Now, the problem with the billions of people who go to church is that they externalize the Lord Jesus Christ when in fact that is talking about an inner experience the whole way through. It ain't about a white man, a black man. Was he alive? Did he die? It ain't about that if you read in the text. It don't matter if he real. It don't matter if Batman is real, but everybody is going to talk about the new X-Men movie. Did you see what happened in Infinity Wars when Thanos did the snap? Well, what if I came to you and said, well, Thanos ain't real? No fucking duh. But the movie is fucking awesome. It had psychological aspects to it that make you think. If you studied Egyptian hieroglyphs, I mean, if you study blue pill and red pill, since 2008, 2007, when these niggas was talking about the comic books, when these gods was talking about the comic books and talking about how we could utilize these symbolisms and help ourselves. And I'm pretty sure that Marvel Comics was listening to No Ledge Media and said, you know what? I think these brothers is on to something. And then the Marvel Cinematic Universe started to happen. Since Red Pill, Blue Pill, KT the Arch Degree was talking about Marvel on their podcast, No Ledge Media, Marvel Cinematics wasn't even really a thing. From then to now, Marvel Cinematic is the biggest thing. Everybody that you know can tell you about Marvel. But none of that shit is real. So when we begin to examine our Bibles, we need to really understand the messaging and the metaphysics behind it before we start to say, I don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't need this shit. This the white man shit. This the shit that put you in slavery. Well, if it put you in slavery, then how the fuck you gonna get out of your slavery if you don't understand the actual sorcery and the Kabbalistic codes that actually put motherfuckers in slavery? Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset by many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Because we have already said the word is God, God is the word, and the word manifests from that aspect. All of the stress that you put in it, all of the fear that you pull in it, all of the bullshit that you put in it, all of the confusion that you put in it, all of the disconnection that you put in it, this is what you manifest too. So to really get into a point to get where you want to manifest your authentic life and your authentic experience, you need to actually begin to focus on the one thing, the one person, the one home, the one vehicle. Because some of y'all already have that and not even grateful for it. For which you have the things that you need. Now you can really develop a spiritual acuity within yourself. But you got that and now you figure that you need more. Right? Or you don't have that and you don't know how to get it. This message is for everybody. So let's deal with the metaphysics of Martha and Mary. Martha is Hebrew for mistress. So the thought occurred to me, and this is for men and women, because men need to relax and women need to relax. Martha is the mistress, and this means that we are all mistresses in our own homes, in our own relationships, when we do what? When we become bitter, when we become rebellious, when we start to make all of the rules and become dogmatic, have standards and have values because we work so fucking hard in dealing with the external world, but we haven't done any spiritual things such as our sister Mary. We haven't relaxed because our trauma, our stress, and our abandonment runs our lives. And because these things runs our lives, it puts us in a perpetual state of fight or flight. This is why when you get your paycheck every 2 weeks, you spend it because you need that stress. You addicted to the stress. Okay. So let's continue. Now, in the story, Lazarus, Martha, Mary. Lazarus means serpent, so Kundalini. Martha, Mary, Ida, Pingala. Jesus frequents this home, this village regularly. This story is about you. This story is about the chosen ones. This story is about the spiritual beings having a human experience. So Martha is the sister of Mary and Lazarus. The three of them live together in Bethany. Bethany is Kabbalah Beth. Beth is the mouth. So when you understand the inners, Lazarus, Martha, Mary, Kundalini, relaxation, allowing spiritual energy to take place in your life, how do you do that? Reducing stress, reducing fear, taking the steps to do the inner work outside of trying to create the external value that will remove you from doing the actual inner work. So all you do is waste time. Hopefully this is making sense. Martha and Mary represent the outer and the inner phases, respectively, of the soul's activity in welcoming the inner spiritual teacher. When you have your stresses in life, we've all come into spirituality with stress and negativity, and we're seeking a savior. We're looking for Jesus. You're not a Christian, but you sure do watch a motherfucker. Don't tell me you binge watch my videos. What the fuck? That don't make sense. You better go. If you binge watch anything, you better take your ass out into nature and listen to your soul. Relax. Take it easy. I'm on here for about 30 minutes. You got the whole day to listen to your soul. Catch it live. Fuck all that old shit. Right? At the end of the day, will you accept your soul's voice? Or will you continue, let stress, let competition, let jealousy, let envy, let greed make all of your decisions for you, Martha? Or will you meet God at the feet, at Malkuth, at manifestation? What you say comes to pass. Sometimes it takes a little bit of nurturing. Sometimes it takes a lot of care. Sometimes it takes a team. But if you relax and allow, you will get what you need to get. Be led by the soul. Don't be led by your fear today. The soul, established in love, is always quick to discern the presence of true thoughts. So if you stress the fuck out, if you really don't like that bitch for no reason, right? If you really don't like that nigga for no reason, if you're really jealous of that person for having a relationship that you don't got, you think that that person don't know that you jealous of them. Of course, you got that one, right? Your husband don't know that you cheated on him. Yeah, you got that one off. But your soul knows your true thoughts. Your true thoughts. Whether you in fight or flight, because ain't nothing like a guilty person, but the only person in the room know that they guilty, and they back all tense, they energy all fucked up. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Where all this energy? Because they holding something within themselves that if they was to reveal the truth of you, maybe you would kick them out your fucking house. So now they become a fucking ticking time bomb in your energy space. Because your soul knows your true thoughts. Like, if you didn't have a soul, you wouldn't feel agitation. Think about it. If you could just get away with shit, you would just get away with shit, right? Think about it. What is this conscience that you feel when you do fucked up shit? When you steal $20 out the fucking register when you working at CVS. Now all day you looking over your shoulders. Your manager, Shaniqua. Huh, what? What the fuck you call my name for? You go on break at 3:15. Huh? Oh yeah. It's 3:20. My fault, Mr. Davidson. Yeah, register 1 is closed. I'm about to go on break. Right? What is a guilty conscience? The soul knows your true thoughts. So to avoid all confusion, relax. It welcomes the spiritual man or teacher who brings truth, authenticity. Some of y'all can't establish authenticity because your authentic self triggers your existence. Some of y'all gay as fucking flowers can't say I'm gay because you got a fucking wife. Uh-oh. Some of y'all in love with other people can't say who you in love with, can't DM people, sneaking around, doing all that shit. I just be doing shit. I just be saying shit. Sometimes I be for real. Sometimes I don't be for real, but I don't be hiding shit. So sometimes my wife look at my DMs like I know like what the fuck, but I'm authentic. So it's like I am who I am. I can't not be who I am. And it trigger everybody else, but I'm triggering you to be your authentic self. So when I'm authentic, you can be authentic. I'm about to go down the street and fuck this nigga on the corner. I'll be back. All right, babe. I'll see you later. At the end of the day, because if she doing it sneakily and coming back and she paying the rent, that's just creating tension. You homeless. Right? If you a homeless person and you living with your girl, you just tell them, hey, I'm going to the hotel to fuck Radames. I'll be back on Tuesday. It's Hot Pockets in the freezer. It's Capri Suns in the bottom. And I pinned $20 on the refrigerator if you want to order you a pizza on Sunday, because I know the game is on. I'll see you later. And if you get mad, just hand them the latest rent receipt. And say, if you don't want me to go to the hotel room from Friday to Tuesday with Radames, the rent is $1,500 every single month. All right, then. I'll see you on Tuesday. Blow him a kiss. Enjoy your fucking weekend, sis. We talking about being authentic. It also is a receptive attitude toward understanding. Mary, by the way. Martha represents outer activity of the... Let me read this. Martha represents the outer activity of the soul that is receiving the higher self. Mary represents the inner or soul receptivity. Martha desires to show her love by service. Mary shows hers by learning at Jesus's feet. So Martha is not bad. It's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes you got to show up, but a lot of times you don't, especially as a woman. A lot of times you have to really figure out who you are and what you stand for. Because more than likely, when you get to, this is the Queen of Swords. When you get to a point of knowing exactly who you are, you become a knife. When you don't know who you are, that's like depressing. You could feel like it's an oppressive force, right? Imagine a horse being tied with like a with a shoestring, right? And he been tied with that shoestring his whole life. So whenever the horse owner tie them up to a shoestring, they think, damn, I gotta sit here tied up to the shoestring. Whole time, the horse can just easily break that fucking shoestring. And sometimes the horse only know it if you piss him off. If you excite him enough. But other than that, when he playing it cool, he just think that shoestring is going to tie him up. So women have feminine energy. They have a double X chromosome. So everything that is being taught to you is to keep you in a state of inferiority. Feminism, to keep you inferior. Because the reality is Martha and Mary. There's an outer soul, how you look, your ability to make children, your energy, your everything about a woman is Martha, and that's great. But there's a deeper aspect to womanhood. It's an XX for a reason. It's not one X, it's two X's. It's Martha, and then there's Mary. There's the soul. It's the inner. And this is the challenge. Even for us men. To seek that, to find that, to look for that. Where do you get the rest and relaxation out of a situation? Is your relationship stress-based, trauma-based? Is everything good within a bubble? Have you ever tested the limits of your relationship, the trigger points, and moved past those trigger points? Or are those trigger points the prison that you call a relationship? This is why I have to express myself with who I express myself with, beyond triggering people, beyond making somebody mad. Because if I'm not able to express my truth, that's my personal problem. And nobody lives in that problem but me. And if I say my actual truth, don't nobody give a shit. That's the beauty of it. So you free yourself from thinking that people are going to condemn you or hurt you for your authenticity. But this is the jewel of womanhood that I don't think is actually taught. Power to be the soul inwardly. So where women have dominance in the physical world is great, but y'all also have dominance in the spiritual world. This is what they don't say. This is what they don't speak to. And then they try to downplay it. And then y'all compete with each other. And then y'all don't have covens. And then y'all don't have sisterhood. And then y'all compete with each other. And then y'all try to one up each other. And then y'all don't have covens. Y'all don't have sisterhood. Y'all just isolated goddesses. When in fact, if y'all united and stood in your spiritual dominance, the world would change. This is why everything happens the way that it happens, to keep you isolated, period. So if you wake up alone and you feel invigorated in your loneliness, if you wake up, get dressed and go to work, the plan worked. Jim Crow succeeded. Slavery succeeded. Racism succeeded. Our black women don't understand the power in uniting, getting past the bullshit. Are there black women united? Of course there are. And when they do unite, fucking the world changes. Whole thing. I went to a goddamn restaurant yesterday. They got Black Lives Matter stickers. Somewhere in Michigan. They ain't no Black Lives nowhere around. Who started Black Lives Matter? Who is the owner of Black Lives Matter? Whether you hate them, whether you love them, whether you dislike them, that's an organization run by 3 black women. Hate it or love it. I'm not saying one black woman. I'm saying Martha, Mary. I'm saying multiples. Getting, like, seeing where you triggered at. Seeing where that bitch bother you at. Having a conversation, getting past it, uniting. And then when you get aggravated and irritated, y'all work through it again. And continuously work through y'all issues to the point that y'all become one. Versus that bitch triggered me, I'm deleting her out of my life. That bitch triggered me, I'm deleting her out of my life. You got Martha, you got Mary. Some of y'all are witches. Some of y'all are not the prettiest girls. Some of y'all got more power than the prettiest girls, but you don't give a fuck because you trying to be like the prettiest girls. It's Martha and it's Mary. It's X and it's X. It's physicality and then there's spirituality. The play is teach you physical, 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 physical. Material, 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 material. Outer, 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 outer. Work, 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 work. Stress, 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 stress. Whole time you got a gateway within you and you're not even trying to access it. The parasympathetic nervous system predominates in quiet, rest, and digest conditions, while the sympathetic nervous system drives the fight or flight response in stressful situations. The main purpose of this parasympathetic nervous system is to conserve energy to be used later to regulate body functions like digestion and urination and so much more. Society teaches you to be stressed. Y'all love y'all social media accounts. Y'all social media accounts is y'all driving source of stress. How you love something that stress you out. You really want to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You want to be the world's greatest meditator and live in the woods, and you want to travel the world like fucking Ari the Don and shit. You want to be on Shade Room? You want to be on Spiritual Shade Room? You want to be everything. You want to do it all. Fucking live in a fucking studio apartment. Got $20 in your bank account. Yes, your social media account is fucking your life up, fam. Put it away. Put it down. Right? Because the things that stress you have you in fight or flight for no reason. For no reason. And all of this information can be found in Chakra Nova. I'm just elaborating, not the Martha and Mary part, but in reference to the parasympathetic system, the gateway to spiritual understanding and spiritual channel, your ability to rest and relax. Like, so simple, but yet so complicated in a world where you get hard and you get wet off of, y'all be in relationships with people and they'd be like, what's your relationship status? And you'd be like, it's complicated. How is a relationship complicated and you got the nerve to say that? I'm not fucking with nobody that's complicated. I don't got time to solve you. What the fuck? Do we go together or we don't go together? Do you want to be my forever or you don't want to be my forever? Do you want to be a little hoe? Then be a little hoe. I might be a little hoe with you from time to time, but just keep it $1,000,000 and we'll be great. Right? The parasympathetic or reposing side of the autonomic nervous system promotes relaxation, sleep, growth, and repair. It is sometimes called the tryptophic, whatever, system, the tryptophic, I can't read that, system because it conserves energy. It includes the endocrine glands, i.e. your chakras, Chakra Nova, whoop, whoop. Available, Columbian Exchange, whoop, whoop. Link in the description, if it is a description, okay? Parts of the hypothalamus and the thalamus, and reaches into the cerebral hemisphere. Thus, the non-dominant right? The parasympathetic, which is non-dominant. The more dominant, the more easier, accessible state of existence is the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. Because you want to look at a person as a challenge, right? This would be like, I want a man that's going to challenge me. No, you want a man that's going to stress you out. That's going to, lead to horrible results, right? The non-dominant holistic mind is connected with the quiescent, or the quintessential. Let's just say that. Let's just put it in our own words. The holistic mind is connected with the quintessential system and involves the hypothalamus and hippocampus. After the activity of sympathetic simulation, so after you stressed out, after you're in a stressful situation, the parasympathetic system reverses the changes. So the problem with stress and constantly living in a stressful existence is that the body has to change and alter it back into a normal function. Because when you stressed out, when you mad, that ain't normal. And you at work, you ever be at work and your undercurrent is stress, and I can't believe this motherfucker cheated on me. But at the top, it's like, hey, welcome to Subway. What can I make for you? And the motherfucker say, I want a tuna sandwich, and you hear roast beef, so you start making a roast beef, and they start cussing at you, and next thing you know, they got sub all over them. Your hands and blood is everywhere. You don't know what happened. Your undercurrent was fight or flight, right? And all they did was remove one layer of the egoic exterior that you was showing because you look halfway decent. You kind of cute. People don't know what the undercurrent is. Remove that layer. Now you got hands and feet in your face, and you like, where'd this all come from? I just said that I wanted a tuna sandwich. You making roast beef. How that work? After the activity of sympathetics, because the soul understands true thought. The true thought. Not the thought of, I'm having a good day or a bad day. Okay? After the activity of the sympathetic stimulation and the parasympathetic system reverses the changes when the danger is over and returns the body's functions to normal. So my thing is, why don't you just be normal the whole entire time? When it's time to get it, you get it. But if it ain't nothing to get, you got to get into a space of conserving, of homeostasis, relaxation, vibrations. Light you a fucking incense. Catch a vibe. It is okay to cut your phone off. You're not missing nothing, right? A lot of y'all be at work on your phones. If you at work, your policy at your job is no phones at your desk. Why don't you just observe the fucking policy? Maybe you get a fucking promotion or some shit. Like, put the fucking phone down. They got cameras everywhere. They see you on your phone, and you not getting the promotion that you want. So it's like distractions. So many different options, so many different things, right? And you trying to hustle up enough money for your rent. Don't worry about the bins and nothing like that. Shit. Focus on what you need to focus on. And that's really the key. And say, for instance, you got one thing that you want to focus on. One thing. Just one thing. Just that one thing. Write it down. And relax. Really get into a space where you're not listening to music. This is very important. Like, music is so fucked up nowadays. And it's been fucked up. Right? Music is the soundtrack to the landscape of the society. And it's really important that a lot of demons live in our minds due to the acceptance of the hypnotic suggestion of the music. So the music is hypnosis. Hypnosis that blocks you from the inner voice, the soul's voice. So really, get out into nature. Listen to the river. Listen to nothing if you're in the car. Like, you know, if you at work, take the one ear. If you at Amazon, they only have one earpiece in, just say no earpieces. Listen to the whirring of the machines. And as you begin to really tap into the sounds that surround you and within you, you'll be able to hear the voice of your soul. And that's going to guide you, man. The problem is, if you haven't been truly listening, you've been walking in the wrong direction, and it might take a minute to get you in the right direction. But if you give yourself a shot, if you give yourself a chance, what do I mean? You be stressed out. You're not giving yourself a chance. A lot of times you will have a situation, you'll fuck up a situation, and you will carry that into the next situation and fuck up the next situation and carry that into the next situation and fuck up a situation. And now you're on a fucking losing streak. Sometimes you got to let that personality go, that ego go, that what you require go if it ain't working out for you. You know, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, especially when it comes to the things that we do that bring on the stress in our lives. So I know for sure it's a lot of things that can happen easily for all of y'all. Like, I know for sure. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure. But I know also that y'all don't listen to yourselves. Y'all don't give yourself a chance. And y'all really rely on y'all stress to navigate y'all way through life. And this is why you can't fully grasp it. And this is why you go from this person and that person and, you know, swing from dick to dick. Because the reality is the person within you is not going to compete with all of the other bullshit that you got in your mind. Right? It don't even matter about your mama or your daddy. It don't matter about nothing. It's about focusing on that one thing. Relaxing. And allowing it. Right? This is really spiritual. And over these past 4 days, I had to accept that. Right? Because the message that I brought forth today, I wasn't accepting it at all. Like, I was really caught up in, I don't even know what I was caught up in. Maybe it was like to just either do something or to be something. And it was like, when I wasn't able to do and be like I wanted to, I wasn't really necessarily tripping, because at that same time, I was seeing and having the experience of an angel in my presence. And having the realization that, oh, like, I am a prophet. I am a prophet of God. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. And it's like, yeah, you can look at all of my videos on YouTube and come to that conclusion. And it was like, yeah, you're trying too hard. And it was like, yeah, I am trying too hard. Like, you want people to give you the credit without understanding who you are. And it's like, okay, if nobody calls you a prophet of God, Kyrie, you have to begin to see yourself and carry yourself as such, because you are that. And I said, oh shit, fuck. Yeah, you gotta fucking relax, bro. And it's like, yeah, don't even worry about it. The messages will come. When the messages will come, you speak. If everybody in the whole universe tell you to kiss their ass, just know that you are God's chosen one. And I'm like, okay, that helps, because you could ask my wife. I was just feeling like, well, damn, people don't really give a shit about me for real. And it's cool because they not supposed to, right? That's how it's supposed to go. But if my mind isn't pure, right, I'm really wanting people to truly give me that for which only God can give me. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, sometimes I want my wife to give me what only God can give me. Sometimes I want, the people I'm doing readings with to give me what only God can give me. And this is real. Like, I don't have a strong family. I don't have a father or nothing. Like, everything that I've gotten has been from God, for a lack of better words. And this is why I've been speaking in this manner for years and years and years and years, because I know the depths for which I've experienced the depths of life, and I've also experienced the resurrection through spiritual development too. And that's profound to me. And every time I share, it's like, who is that? Like, who is that person speaking, right? That person that's speaking, because it was not too long ago, I was at the fucking corner store, like, can I get a pack of Black and Milds? Just on stupid shit. I would have done a whole bunch of shit. But it all resorts to the soul recognizing the true thought of the individual. And so if your soul comes to you through the form of angelic transmissions and things like that, interseries, higher self, guardian angels, things like that, it's not going to examine you by how many subscribers or how many girls like you. It's going to examine you by who you really understand yourself to be. And honestly, I was about like 75% there. I didn't fully understand what it meant to be a prophet, what it meant to have a connection to God in a world where people are disconnected to God and some people are deeply connected to God. And if you have eyes, you can see, right? And if you can have ears, you can hear. So I was like, and it's you. And it might not ever look the way that you think it's going to look for you, Kyrie. But if it looked fucked up for you, you got to understand who you are. If it looked great for you, you got to understand who you are. In whatever situation you find yourself in, learn to relax. Learn to receive. Learn to be holistic. Learn to be the reincarnated being. And I'm sharing this transmission that I have with y'all because this is a part of my spiritual journey, and this is kind of what I talk about on my channel. I talk about spiritual development. I don't talk about random shit that I be watching. I don't talk about random bullshit that just sound good, right? I'm trying to bring enlightenment and expansion to those who are seeking such things. And I hope you enjoyed this transmission as I begin my day. But I'm always available. DM me and hoodmystic.com, columbianexchange.com. I'm going to send out an email, so be sure to visit columbianexchange.com, get on our email list. Got some wonderful things that I'll be presenting this weekend. I'm going to actually start working on that today. And yeah, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week, month. I might do a video again whenever the message comes, but it is what it is. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.